All right, you guys. So we're gonna start this off. Huge spoiler warnings for the upcoming chapter of My Hero Academia. All right. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So, like I said, spoiler warning. Just keep that in mind. Letting everyone know for now. Like I said, anytime I do any form of chapter review on what's going on, because people have been saying I need to start putting one on. So, like I said, yet again, put another spoiler warning on. But I have to say, this chapter, okay. Whew. Only thing I got to say is, okay, Midoriya is he. I mean, he's screwed. Like that is the only way to explain it. I'm gonna go into detail about it later, but for right now, just understand that right now there is just to me absolutely no way that Midoriya and, in all fairness, any other new generation heroes, like not just Midoriya, but like any other new generation of heroes, should even come close to actually facing off and coming close to actually defeating pretty much what seems like any member of the League of Villains. Okay, okay. Well, they go by a new name now, but I'll tell you about that later. But right now, just understand that there's just, to me anyway, absolutely no way I think any of them are going to stand a chance against them. Okay, now that we got that little tidbit out of the way, alright. So, the new chapter for My Hero Academia. Now, overall, outside of, like I said, just my personal preference, like I said, the chapter was extremely basic. There wasn't really anything going on. It's just kind of switching over from the villain side, showing Shigaraki and his crew kind of adjusting and building up their power and their army and stuff like that. And it just switches back over to the hero side. So now we're officially done with My Villain Academia, and now we're stuck on the heroes again. Like I said, for the most part, the chapter in itself wasn't really bad. It was just simply, I mean, just basic. Wasn't really much information going on. It just a little segue into building up for the new heroes that are coming up. Now, uh, let's just start by saying, if you thought that All Might versus All For One, like we all know, one of My Hero Academia is so far iconic fight, which personally I understand why people like it a lot, but I may make a separate video explaining why I think that there was another fight that actually far surpassed that fight. But we're not going to get into that here. But point being is, we all saw All Might versus All For One. And that was a pretty cool fight, and we got to see just how much damage and devastation, just how much effort All Might and the rest of the heroes had to put in just for them to actually manage to defeat him. Now, what I mean by other heroes, of course, they had to do their thing to get Bakugo out of the way to help All Might against his wishes, of course, but it helped them. But the point that I'm trying to get across is, like I said, we got to see just how much destruction and chaos that a weakened or heavily weakened All For One and a heavily weakened All For One also was able to do. Like, we got to see how that operated and how much damage destruction they caused. But that apparently still like was baby damage compared to the damage that Shigaraki and the League of Villains, or going by the new name now, the Paranormal Liberation Front, it still paled in comparison. It is stated at the very beginning of the chapter, as the characters are actually looking at the news, it is stated that that whole incident that happened with the League of Villains facing off against the Liberation Army, that the damage that was caused there was much larger than the incident at the Kamino district. So, just to let you know, that means Shigaraki and his fight with Redestro had more damage and more destructive capabilities than All Might versus All For One. And that was just done by, like I said, as stated, by like 20 people. But mainly, of course, it was done by Shigaraki and Redestro. And, of course, good old Giga, coming in at last minute destroying stuff. But the main chapter that it's focusing on is apparently the heroes. At the very beginning of the chapter, we see Bakugo and Todoroki go through an hour-long interview. And it puts into perspective how the heroes need to understand how to do interviews. So this entire chapter, is basically focusing on the heroes understanding how to basically handle media interviews. Now, this is what I mean by say like the characters are actually kind of screwed because Tomura isn't worried about the media or anything like that. He went through his battles. He's trying to actually truly prove himself and actually get to the point of surpassing All For One. While the other heroes, like, Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, like all of them who want to surpass All Might, aren't really getting the necessary treatment to actually surpass them. I mean, like I said, you should be training on your quirk, actually dealing with heroes, working all this stuff, but no, they're dealing with how to handle the media. Now, like I said, this is a very different take just because when you think about it, so like in DC and Marvel and all that stuff, the heroes and stuff actually typically try and avoid the media, or at least if they do talk to the media, they try to actually avoid certain aspects of the media. But in My Hero Academia, it's completely opposite. You actually need to be more involved with the media outside of people like Aizawa, however you say it, however you want to say it, I guess. But on top of which, like I said, during the interview process, we see each and every hero when they talk about it, they show off their special moves and all this stuff, or their quirks in general. And when it's Deku's turn, of course, he kind of fails at the interview part because his nervousness, he goes on and mutters and stuff. Then when it's time to show his new quirk ability, he tries to show it or demonstrate the Black Whip, and just like a little poof, a little poof just comes out. And that is the main reason why I'm trying to say Deku at the moment, if Shigaraki was to go out his way and decide to summon the entire Paranormal Liberation Front and go out there and attack the city or whatnot, or go on a rampage, there's no one out there that'll really stop him. In fact, even the top 10 here, like, we don't really get to see a lot. Like, for example, I think Best Genius is still injured. Lemillion is still gone, which, oh man, that's so tragic. But he's still gone. He had his quirk taken. Like, outside of really just Endeavor and a few of the top 10 heroes, for the most part, the heroes are absolutely screwed. Like, there's just nothing else they can do. They are going to struggle, and by the end of the day, the heroes are going to get wiped out by Tomura, who we thought wasn't going to be anything more than a normal one-dimensional villain. Oh, man. I love My Hero Academia, but the way that the story is going, it just leaves me wondering, like, what are the heroes going to do? One of the things that happened in the last chapter, Hawks might be in danger because Hawks is trying to basically report to the heroes about the situation that's going on. But it's one of those things, I feel like even if Hawks manages to actually speak with them and stuff, they're pretty much, it's just not going to help much unless they decide to do stuff differently, I guess. So, like I said, that's more or less where the chapter ends. So that's really all I got to say about the chapter. There is one thing they are saying, that they're going to reinstate the internship, so we're going to see how that goes, hopefully in the next chapter or so. But for the most part, the heroes are screwed, and that's really all I got to say on that. Like, it is just a done deal at this point. They need to stop worrying about all this other stuff and actually focus on actually getting stronger. So I get to see how they're going to handle this. Still love the manga, still love the anime. It's a great series, but it just leaves little to the imagination on what's going to happen. But in the meantime, like I said, like and subscribe if you enjoy it. Comment if you want me to do other stuff. I may try and dabble in other stuff. But in the meantime, I'll see you. Peace.